Hey folks, it's Eric on the streets of Belgrade, Serbia. Just wanted to give a little update of my life, I want to post a video on this channel every week for the people who are interested in this channel and the sorts of ideas that I'm sharing here. I'm still trying to find the identity of the channel and how that should be marketed and stuff like that. You've seen me interview like sort of podcast guests. You've seen me sort of just talk about life, my habits, my lifestyle. I think a lot of people should be interested in the sorts of things that I'm talking about, which is basically boiling down to being a man in the 21st century, trying to find and optimize the best life possible. I mean, I'm a pretty weird guy, I will admit, and lots of people have probably noticed how strange and eccentric I am. But at the same time, there's a lot of value to being an entrepreneur and sharing that wisdom, to being into fitness, to being a musician, artist, and I don't know, I'm trying to be the best person I possibly can in the world. So what am I happy with? I'm happy with my fitness. I'm happy with my business, all that stuff. What am I not happy with in my life? Not happy with my love life. It's hard to meet the sort of, I'm looking for a very specific type of woman, and I don't often meet that type of woman. It's hard to find them, but it's that sort of like feminine, Eastern European type, but a little bit into more advanced and high consciousness stuff like yoga and all that stuff, because the standard women here in Serbia do not fit me at all. I used to think that they did, and it was a lot of fun initially when I came here, but now I'm realizing that maybe I should be looking outside of this country for romance, and that maybe I won't end up living here forever. But my dream girl might be Serbian, but it just really doesn't seem like that's going to be the case, because the types of lives people here have had growing up in this country, I think, are very, very different than the type of life that I've had and the type of mentality. And even though, my family's origins are very close to here, there's some stuff that's different, some stuff that doesn't make a connection. So yeah, I want to improve my love life, and now that I'm successful in business and, finally getting to have the body that I always wanted, starting to have more free time, starting to realize how lucky I am to have basically everything. Lucky to have grown up in Canada, lucky to live in this wonderful country called Serbia, Belgrade, lucky to be able to travel the world and work online and not have to rely on the local economies in a place like this. It's all just super amazing. So I will continue to make these sorts of lifestyle videos on this channel, talking about my life, because I think it's a pretty unique life. And I had to actually break free of a lot of brainwashing from the society. I grew up in Canada, where like the whole thing is, the whole society is so sort of strict and specific that it was easy to break free, because I didn't really feel that my identity really was fulfilled living in Canada after I traveled, because I grew up in a really different way than most Canadians and most of the people I would meet. I grew up in an incredibly wealthy part of the country, but I always made my own money, and everything I did was self-made, but I took the knowledge of all the other entrepreneurs and stuff like that. I grew up with a family that immigrated in the 50s after World War II, like a lot of families did. But the difference is they were kind of politically motivated more than financially to move to Canada. They were successful back home. They were, well-off people back in Europe, back in, growing up in Czechoslovakia and stuff like that. But it just so happened that after World War II, they had to, move elsewhere because they were no longer welcome in their place. So those are two differences. I grew up with a father in the music industry. rather than a father he was working for himself, usually self-employed in the music industry. So I was raised really closely by my dad and my grandparents. So these are the Central European people, and he gave me values that I think were missing from a lot of parenting in Canada in the 80s and 90s. You know, this sort of old world man, take responsibility for yourself, say what you're gonna do and then do what you say you're gonna do, be on time, respect other people, make friends with all different types of people. And he was in the music industry. So I got this wonderful cast of weird characters constantly parading through my life, rock stars, different music business people, and it was so much more vibrant than most businesses are. And so I grew up, and then, you know, I became a musician, playing gigs. And so Canada, for me, Toronto is such a lame place that I'm happy to have liberated myself from, both in terms of the identity, the meek sort of Canadianness. I didn't fit in there because I was always too direct, too honest, too aggressive, too loud. And I liberated myself from that, and I found a home in this Serbia. And so, yeah, basically I guess this is just a video for myself. Not many people watch this channel, and it's gonna sound like arrogant Eric talking about how great he is and how interesting his life is. And yeah, I think if you watch, my life actually is very interesting. And I work a lot harder to understand this world than a lot of people do. A lot of people just like live where they were born and that's it. A lot of people just speak one language and understand one cultural mentality, like a middle class Western mentality. There's a lot of diversity you can get, and yeah, I'm so happy that I was able to, I don't know, just break free of all of the things that make life mediocre, that make you, you know, mediocre middle class and stuck in a life of passionless, artisticlessness. I don't know. That's it, folks. That's my update for this weekend. Hope you enjoyed this video. Or you think I'm an arrogant asshole. That's possible too. I hope there's some people out there who can be inspired by my life, and that's what I'll continue to do on this channel. So if you have not subscribed, please subscribe, and I'll catch you later.